Hello, my name is Debo Adejano, a real estate entrepreneur, MDCO Royalty Points Limited. They call us the Sack Your Landlord people. And this is Real Estate Business with Debo Adejano. Now today, I'll be talking to you about the twists and turns of the land sponsoring business. I'm sure as a real estate entrepreneur, you probably would have heard about the business called land sponsoring, wherein some people approach you to say, hey, come and sponsor one activity or the other regarding our land owning as a family, and for which you are repaid or you are paid with land. Okay, that is a business that is really popular, especially in the southwest region, the Lagos angle particularly. A lot of people get into a lot of land owning, doing that. However, there are twists and turns on it, manifesting greatly now especially, and you should know about it. So that's what I'll be sharing about today, okay, in this episode. I'll be right back. Real estate independence fast track course is not something you want to joke with at all. Loads and loads of learning and information and benefits await you at the next one. All you need to do is ensure that you register for your next fast track course. We're looking forward to seeing you. You want to be financially free? I hope you know that you will retire someday, and you probably are desirous of doing business with real estate or investing property for yourself, for your use. You need to learn about it before you make that investment. I tell people, you want to buy properties, you want to invest in property one way or the other, don't give it until you attend the next Real Estate Entrepreneurs Fast Track course. See you there. Welcome back. Now, the business of sponsoring land has been with us, I would say, for long. Doing real estate now for the past 15 years, I've come across proposals, I've been prospected, I've been approached also, to come and sponsor land. I've actually had to do some sponsoring myself, directly and also indirectly. Okay, so this is something that I'm quite conversant with, and I just felt that it is good that people know about it, because a lot of people call me to say, hey Debo, what do you think about this land sponsoring business? The other day, a young man attending our training academy actually laid bare his current situation to me, and I can tell you that it is pathetic. How do I mean? This is someone, according to his story, that has spent about 100 million sponsoring land, and when we got to the nitty-gritty of it, it probably it's even difficult for me to say right now. I just can't think of him losing that money. I hope he doesn't. We're working with him to see how things can be remedied, but it's a challenge. The other day, I met a young chap who just started his career in the oil business, and he works with an oil company, and because he gets good pay, they are usually easy target for these guys who go about prospecting for who will come and sponsor land. And he was approached, as at the time he was talking to me, he had spent like about 25 million naira in trying to sponsor a land that does not exist. When I say does not exist, it's not really like something that is really authentic. Yeah, it became a police case and all of that. At the end of the day, they were asked to return the money. I'm not sure they have returned half of that money even as we speak, and that has been like about 2 years or so now. I can tell you stories upon stories. Like I said, there are the successful stories I've participated in myself, and there are those that really didn't go well. I have actually participated in one also that didn't go well long ago, and putting all my experience together and what I see play out these days is why I did this video. So, to start with, 3 major areas where the land owning families will ask you to sponsor. One, they will say sponsor us to survey our vast land, that we have this massive land size, that we've not surveyed before, and we need a surveyor to help us to survey it. A lot of times they get a surveyor, okay, who will be the one looking for sponsors to survey, sponsors to sponsor the survey, financiers as it were, to sponsor the survey. Okay, so they have a surveyor and he'll be the one looking for sponsors. Or sometimes the family members will approach you and then they may say they have a sponsor already, you just provide money. Now, large expanse of land will need some money for logistics in terms of sponsoring it. So depending on the size, of course, money will be paid to the land surveyor general's office to have the survey registered, properly registered. Yeah, you can do that survey, okay, sponsor it for whatever you negotiate with the family. That's one. Two, there is the one they say you sponsor our clearing of the land. So they have vast land, they want to start selling, they feel that it will be more sellable when it is cleared, maybe a road, they need a road to the place and then some part of it is cleared and all of that, or is a swampy area and then there is the dry part area and they want to move sand from the dry part that is uphill maybe to the swampy area to cover the swamp and all of that, so there are things like that. And so they are looking for sponsors, people who will help them do this and for which they will pay land in return. You remember, say for any sponsoring, majorly, what the money will pay you is not money. Of course, they need money. That's why they are looking for sponsors. So they will pay you with the land that they have. So you are going to get land in payment for the service you sponsor, for whatever you render. Okay? Then the third one is where there is government encumbrance and they are probably, should I say, applying to get it excised, or they are going to call to get things processed, or whatever it is. Okay, they need financiers to help them with their excision. So in those situations, they would ask for you to sponsor excision. So there are three things to sponsor. Let me go through them again. You sponsor for survey, can sponsor for clearing, you can sponsor for excision. Now, just imagine, usually they pay with land, and the way it is done, almost like acceptable rate is one plot for every acre. One plot for every acre. So let's take for example, if a family has 300 acres of land that they want surveyed and they get you to sponsor the survey, you will get one plot for every acre. There are instances where there are two plots and things like that, okay, but usually you get one plot for every acre. Remember, one plot for every acre. The implication of that is that you get 300 plots, which in itself is like about 50 acres. Okay, so meaning that the family will end up with 350 acres and give you 50 acres for your effort. Okay, now if they go ahead to say we want to, it's an excision, it's a land requiring excision, so we want excision to be sponsored, they will also give one plot for every acre. Out of 250 left, if they give one plot again, they will be left with 208 acres, meaning they will give about 42 acres to the person that is sponsoring. Now, if you move further and they say we want it cleared, out of 208, they will give another one plot for every acre, and they will be left with about 174 acres, just around that. Okay, meaning that they would have parted with about 34 acres, thereabout. These are just estimates. So at the end of the day, a family that started with 300 acres would end up with 174 acres, having given out acres of land in exchange for some of these things that they didn't have money for, which in itself makes business sense. It's not really bad. Now, let me mention here that one other thing that your moneyless sponsor a lot. or they pay. In fact, for anything you do with Omonile, they usually will pay you with land. Anything, any arrangement you have with them, you want to give them development in one way or the other, maybe create a bridge for them in their place, is land they have in exchange for you. You want whatever you want to do with them is land they usually have in exchange. So if they need to be able to position people on the land to help them ensure that they don't lose control over their land and that other people does not encroach, there are people they give those kind of businesses to, and it is land also they pay with. Now this makes it such that if you are not smart and fast about whatever you agree with them, even when sponsorship is genuine, the land and the exercise has been carried out, you spent your money and both of you have shared, if you are not strong and strongly in possession of what it is that has been given to you, usually I've seen people lose part of it, or let me say, usually I've seen people lose a little of it or a large size. It's been difficult. It will be difficult to lose all, but I've also seen people walk away really from everything because it becomes messy and it depends on what you can take. Okay, now we're even just talking about things that are genuine and okay, but what I've found out these days is that it has become a racket. It has become a means by which the Omoniles swindle people. People that are not exposed to it, unsuspecting financiers have been duped in the name of sponsoring Omoniles for any of these three things that I've mentioned, or other services that they require. So that is why I'm doing this video, for you to note. For example, if you're in the Lagos area, I beg of you, never sponsor any Omonile land just for survey. Never. Because when you sponsor for survey, it's for nothing. If you just sponsor, you're just sponsoring them to know the size of their land. The status usually, and this is common in the Bejuleki corridor, the land most of the time is under acquisition. So when you sponsor an acquired land just to know the size of it, you've done nothing. Okay? If you're sponsoring at all, take care of these two things. One, find out the status of the land. If it is under acquisition, then sponsor if you can, okay, for survey and accession. You are sponsoring for accession, okay, not just for survey. Sponsoring for survey and accession if you can, okay. How will you know you can? You must have your way in terms of helping them, have qualified people and experienced people to team up with you in the process of helping them to get their land excised. Don't just work with them just as a money bag, as a financier. You must have the expertise, or they have. And if they have, be sure that they have professionals that you can deal with, and that they have, tales that you can, you can trace. Okay, so I would usually encourage that. Otherwise, if you have your own team that you can bring into the transaction, bring them in and sponsor based on that. So it must be that you can sponsor up to accession. You can help them get accession on their land, and for which, in that case, they can actually or should actually give you 2 plots for every acre. If you sponsor survey and accession, you should be able to get 2 plots on every acre. Now, what that helps you to do is that once you get accession, then that is you can have your land because you've freed it from every government encumbrance, and you can do whatever you've agreed with them regarding that land, that portion of land. It's very important. However, you must make sure that it is something that you can do, because accession processing has not been that easy for some time now in Lagos, and I understand the government is thinking differently as to how to approach accession and still take care of the Omoniles. So you as a sponsor may lose out at the end of the day if you don't know what you are doing. So be careful to know what you are doing. So I tell people, don't just give out money to them thinking that accession is something easy. I hope you know that accession also is not something easy. For some accessions that I know of, they took years. Yes, years. I know of accessions that took 5, 6, well, some took 4, some took far more than that, 5, 6, 7 years in processing, and some, actually a few, that took more than that in processing the accession. Yes, and I'm very sincere about that. Now, this is the challenge. If you don't know how to process a decision, and you get into just giving out money to their surveyor and things, a lot of the times the surveyors who do these things for them are technicians. They are not qualified surveyors, registered surveyors. They are technicians, as it were, meaning that really they are, most of them are not really about their name integrity, or they have any code of conduct. No, they're just about as much as they can make, and they will tell you your manner. Because one of the guys I was telling you about, for example, somebody is saying that you should come and sponsor survey, and the sponsoring of survey on a land that is under acquisition. You can imagine that. And the person is still telling you that he has lodged the red copy. How can there be a record copy by an independent surveyor on a land that is under accession? Well, except it's backdated before the accession came in, which is a practice that is not usually encouraged, but it's still a sharp practice that happens sometimes, just in a way to just be able to prove to you that yes, you've sponsored anything reasonable. They will get it backdated and push it in. It's not as easy to do that anymore, even within the surveyors, the way the surveyors have been able to organize themselves right now. But I think probably some people still have a way around it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how you will be able to, as an independent surveyor, go to a government land and survey it and say you are able to lodge the red copy. I'm still waiting to see that red copy, really, because we were still at that. I saw one red copy one time. That somebody purportedly surveyed a land that is supposed to be free, which is definitely not free. Is an acquired land. And what he said there was, I've forgotten the stamp he used. One funny stamp like that. He said, whether subject to excision or not excised, or confirm, not but confirm or something. He said something about this land is not is free from every whatever encumbrance, but confirm or something like that, as just trying to exonerate himself. And that is a very funny thing to do from the responsibility. Because if a land is free, it's free. If a land is excised, if a land is excised, it's excised. If a land is acquired, it is acquired. You can't be saying they should come. As a surveyor, you should know whatever you are submitting, okay, the status of it. So don't let anybody pull any wool over you, over your eyes. Ensure that you know exactly what you're doing and you negotiate to terms. They usually tell people, it's the easiest way to get land, it's cheaper to get land that way, it won't cost you that much. Yes, it is true. However, that is so for surveys that goes through. I hope you know, decisions that go through. I hope you know that if you even apply to have like about, let's say, 100 hectares excised, you probably won't get more than 40, 30, 20, 10 excised to you, to your village, okay? You may not get more than that excised to you, depending on how, grounded you are in the scheme of things, okay? And you can imagine, so whatever money you've spent, it is on that portion that is excised that you get it back. So if you got them 10 hectares instead of 100 hectares excised, guess what? You are going to get 2 plots or 1 plot, whatever you agreed, for every acre of what you got excised. And that is where you are supposed to make your money back. Do you understand? It will still turn out, once you get it, it will still turn out to be good money. Eventually. But you can imagine how easy it is or how difficult it is to do this. Then another thing that happens right now with sponsoring is that before now, it is money bags that come into this and sponsor and get it excised, get it freed from government acquisition before they start selling it to people for profit. But what I've seen now happen is that people canvass to people. So there is 100 hectares to be excised, and then somebody is called in to sponsor. Instead of using his own money to sponsor, he then goes out to town to tell people, I have so much plot here on 100 hectares, for example. Let's say they are giving him 1 plot for every acre. On 100 hectares, that's 250 acres. He will claim he has 250 plots, and he will go around selling 250 plots, and it is the money people are paying that they will be using to sponsor, part of the money that they will be using to push the excision. A lot of times, I've seen in a lot of cases, that's where you see things like file number and all of that, excision file number as title. Excision file number can never be title. Excision file number just indicates that an application has been submitted at the appropriate office and a file has been opened. That's why excision file number is open. A file has been opened for that excision, meaning that we received the application. That's all. That's all. In fact, for the past government in the state, Lagos State particularly, and this current government, there has not been excision in any process, as in being processed seriously. Nothing like that. So I know applications that are as old as 2015, just before the administration of Governor Fashola. Okay. So you can imagine if you applied then during the twilight of his administration and it wasn't treated at the time, they've not really moved significantly. In fact, moved an inch, if I must say, since then. That's like 2015 to 2020 right now. 5 years. That has been there. And then somebody has been taking file number and selling one to people. Excision that may never be granted. Excision is not compulsory that an excision is granted. Hope you know that. It's not compulsory. You need to watch another video I will refer you to that I've done is the 4 quadrant of land status. Check it out on my YouTube channel. You see it. Watch that video. It will tell you the status that a land can be in. There are just 4 of them, okay? And it will explain to you what excision means and why you should not joke with it. So that is a video on sponsoring. Okay, and I hope that it has educated you. So if, for example, you are now called to sponsor clearing, just find out that the place you are sponsoring, you are clearing, has title, unencumbered title, from these same people that are giving you the sponsorship, and get it clear. Make it very clear. Let it be clearly demarcated, the portion they are giving you, and do your due diligence to note that it is not something that they've done with some other people. Because what has happened also in time is that they call this surveyor to survey for them. They have this agreement. It goes. They call another person to do one thing for them. They have that same agreement. They give him that same portion. They give him this other person, and then those ones start to find themselves. You know, so just make sure that they are not giving you a place that they've given somebody before. If they've given somebody to survey for them, for example, and that person couldn't do excision, and they called another party that is now able to do excision, a lot of times they will give those other party the same place they gave the person that surveyed. Do you imagine saying that he didn't do anything really because he didn't get the land free for them or something like that? Freed for them. So you need to be careful whatever it is that you are doing. Like I always advise, go with professionals, and professionals that are expert in that field. Okay, so if you're working with a lawyer, work with a lawyer that knows about real estate. If you are working with a land surveyor, work with a land surveyor that knows about the intricacies of acquisition, excision, and all of that. Work with professionals that know the intricacies of these things. Okay, I hope that with this you've been enlightened as to the business of land sponsoring, knowing that it's not really like a gold mine like that, and it is a gold mine. You just have to know how to tread carefully, and then you should be able to. However, I tell people in Lagos State, be wary, really be wary. It has become very, very abused. It has become a very easy way to swindle people. So you want to be wary about sponsoring land, maybe until the coast is clearer as to what government is doing regarding excision and all of that. Then it can become something again you want to really be doing. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please click on the like button. If you've not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. I wouldn't know what you're doing and why you're still waiting. Please subscribe and tell people about such a channel that dishes out useful real estate information all the time. Okay, it's my pleasure to always be here. Till I come your way another time, I remain yours sincerely, Debo Adejano, in the business of helping you sack your landlord. Thank you. Thank you. I believe you've enjoyed the video that you just watched. You gained a lot, right? Now, let me share with you where they say it all starts. It's called the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Fast Track Course. It's a 2-day event, 2 days fully packed, teaching you about real estate, not just teaching you, showing you real estate stuff that you probably would not know. I'll be teaching you as a real estate entrepreneur or someone that is buying real estate for personal use or for investment, one way or the other. This is a course you don't want to miss. There is no two of its kind in the market. It's the best that there is in the market, and you want to be there. Guess what? It is absolutely free. If it is about real estate and it is about investing, particularly in Nigeria, this is a course that you want to attend. For the value that you will gain, it is absolutely free. All you need to do right now is to click on the link and register for the next Real Estate Entrepreneurs Fast Track Course. As a real estate entrepreneur or as a owner occupier of a house, this is a course you don't want to miss. So see you at the next Real Estate Entrepreneurs Fast Track Course. Click the link below and get registered. Looking forward to seeing you there.